I am very happy to be with all of you viewers. Don't forget to subscribe before the video starts and make us happy by liking the video and hit the notification button. Gothic culture is a fascinating and complex subculture that has evolved over several centuries. It has its roots in the Gothic era of the Middle Ages, but it has since been shaped by various factors, including literature, music, fashion, and art. In this scenario, we will explore the intricacies of Gothic culture and how it has evolved over time. It was a dark and stormy night, and the streets were empty except for a few stray cats and dogs. The only sound that could be heard was the sound of rain as it pattered against the cobblestones. In the distance, a lone figure could be seen walking down the street, their black cloak fluttering in the wind. This was a typical scene in the Gothic culture, a subculture that had emerged in the late 20th century and was characterized by an affinity for darkness, melancholy, and all things macabre. The roots of Gothic culture can be traced back to the Gothic era of the Middle Ages, which was characterized by the rise of Gothic architecture, literature, and art. The term Gothic was initially used as a derogatory term to describe the barbarian tribes that had invaded the Roman Empire. However, it was later used to describe the architecture and art that emerged during this period, including cathedrals, castles, and illuminated manuscripts. During the 18th and 19th centuries, Gothic literature became popular, with writers such as Edgar Allan Poe, Mary Shelley, and Bram Stoker creating works that were characterized by their dark and brooding atmosphere. These works often featured supernatural elements, such as ghosts, vampires, and werewolves, and explored themes of death, decay, and madness. In the early 20th century, Gothic culture began to take on a new form with the emergence of Gothic music. Bands such as Bauhaus, Siouxsie, and the Banshees, and The Cure created a unique sound that was characterized by its melancholic lyrics, atmospheric melodies, and haunting vocals. This music would go on to inspire a new generation of Gothic fans who would take the culture in new and exciting directions. One of the most important aspects of Gothic culture is its fashion. Gothic fashion is characterized by its dark and dramatic aesthetic, with black being the predominant color. Many Goths wear Victorian-inspired clothing, such as corsets, lace, and ruffles, while others prefer more modern styles, such as leather jackets and combat boots. Gothic fashion is often seen as a form of self-expression, with Goths using their clothing as a way to express their individuality and creativity. While Gothic culture is often associated with darkness and melancholy, it is also a culture that values community and inclusivity. Many Goths form close-knit communities, often centered around music or fashion, and these communities provide a sense of belonging for those who may feel like outsiders in mainstream society. Gothic culture also values diversity, with many Goths coming from different backgrounds and walks of life. As the lone figure continued down the street, they approached a large building that was lit up by the pale glow of the moon. This was a Gothic club, a place where Goths could gather to listen to music, dance, and socialize. The club was filled with people dressed in black, their faces painted with pale makeup and dark lipstick. The air was thick with the scent of incense and the sound of music, as the DJ played a mix of classic and modern Gothic tracks. The lone figure made their way to the bar, where they ordered a drink and struck up a conversation with the bartender. They talked about music, fashion, and art, sharing their love for all things Gothic. The bartender was a veteran of the Gothic scene, and they regaled the figure with stories of the early days of Gothic culture, when it was a small and underground movement. As the night wore on, the club became more crowded, and the music grew louder. The figure found themselves drawn to the dance floor, where they joined a group of Goths who were dancing to the beat of the music. They swayed and twirled, lost in the music and the moment, surrounded by a community of like-minded individuals. As the night drew to a close, the figure made their way back out into the rainy streets. They felt a sense of belonging and camaraderie that they had never felt before, and they knew that they had found a community that they could call their own. They also knew that Gothic culture was much more than just a subculture. It was a way of life, a way of expressing oneself, and a way of finding beauty in darkness. In conclusion, Gothic culture is a multifaceted subculture that has evolved over several centuries. It has its roots in the Gothic era of the Middle Ages, but it has since been shaped by various factors, including literature, music, fashion, and art. Gothic culture is characterized by its affinity for darkness, melancholy, and all things macabre, but it is also a culture that values community, inclusivity, and diversity. Gothic culture provides a sense of belonging for those who may feel like outsiders in mainstream society, and it allows individuals to express themselves in unique and creative ways. Gothic culture has had a significant impact on popular culture, with its influence being felt in music, fashion, literature, and film. Many mainstream artists have been inspired by Gothic culture, with musicians such as Lana Del Rey and Billie Eilish incorporating Gothic elements into their music and fashion. Gothic literature continues to inspire new generations of writers, with works such as Neil Gaiman's The Sandman and Guillermo del Toro's The Shape of Water drawing on Gothic themes and motifs. Despite its enduring popularity, Gothic culture is often misunderstood and misrepresented by mainstream society. Goths are often stereotyped as being depressed, suicidal, or even dangerous, but this is far from the truth. Gothic culture is a diverse and vibrant subculture that celebrates individuality, creativity, and community, and it provides a sense of belonging for those who may feel like outsiders in mainstream society. As the figure walked off into the night, they knew that they were part of something special, something that had been shaped by centuries of history and culture. They knew that Gothic culture was more than just a subculture, it was a way of life, a way of expressing oneself, and a way of finding beauty in darkness. And they were proud to be a part of it. Thank you for watching the video. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe and don't forget to like and comment. Bye until the next video.